Hello everyone, welcome to Ecotecture. Myself Harshal, and again today we are going to discuss about another session of our lecture series, that is architecture and climate. Nowadays, climate change has become a buzzword. Everyone is discussing about the climate change just because some or the other way they have observed it, like increase in temperature, like irregular monsoons, like cyclones, floods. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about how building impacts the climate, or it may be climate impacting a building. While understanding building impacting the climate, we need to divide building in two phases, that is a constructional phase and a operational phase of the building. There is third phase also, which is demolition of building or unused buildings, but that hamper very less compared to constructional phase and operational phase of the building. In constructional phase of the building, there are three main stakeholders. First, a nature, which supplies everything. Another is user. User means every living being on this earth. And third is technique. These three are interrelated to each other. Like user is related to techniques, techniques are related to nature, nature is again related to user. So our buildings are lies in between these three. Okay. So let us talk about the user. User has its own demand. Basically, in terms of building, user has two types of demand, that is a survival level and another is a luxurious level. Nowadays, everyone is going for a luxurious level, but there are users who always look for survival level, such as animals, because animal is also comes under user section. They also have their demand and they also take from nature, so they always build for the survival level. Let us take an example of the animals who built, such as bird builds their own nest. While building a nest or constructing anything, there are four basic requirements of any kind of construction. First, a land or a place. Second, a climate. Climate is very much important. It is required for survival. Again, it requires for construction also. Like if we take an example of brick masonry, then we require air, we require temperature for masonry to dry, masonry to settle. Third is resources such as water, sun, and fourth is the construction material. In construction of bird's nest, bird also require a small place, a construction material. Now here I just want to add another story regarding construction material. Construction material has two phases. First is raw and second is finished. A journey of raw material to finish one requires a process, that is called as processing or manufacturing. Now that manufacturing or processing requires an energy. Let us take an example of brick, burned brick. Now the requirement of raw material for burned brick is a mud, sand. Now these mud blocks are burnt by using coal. Here we are using coal as energy. We require a temperature to burn those blocks, so we are using coals. While burning of coal, it emits pollutants such as smoke, and again, the it leaves a extract behind which is called as fly ash. Both of these components are polluting or impacting the climate. Now, here I would like to discuss another example, that is of sun-dried bricks. Sun-dried bricks uses solar energy or solar radiation for the final finished product. Now, here I just want to focus on another concept which is called as nature as a waste sink. In earlier discussion, we have discussed about nature as a supplier who supplies each and everything to us, and another part of it is nature as a waste sink. Nature as a waste sink means all the pollutants or all the extracted material we leave behind in a nature. Again, nature requires another form of energy to decompose that material. If we compare both burn bricks and sun-dried bricks, burn bricks have high embodied energy compared to sun-dried bricks. Now here we need to understand what is embodied energy. Embodied energy is an energy required during the manufacturing of the product. Now, manufacturing involves various processes which requires resources or fossil fuels. Again, it requires transportation, such as transportation of raw material, transportation of finished goods. So, overall energy consumed during the production of construction material, that energy is called as embodied energy of the material. And hence, we can say the embodied energy of burnt bricks is higher than sun-dried bricks. Again, we come back to our basic story, that is bird's nest. In bird's nest, the material used by the bird is having low embodied energy. Whenever we build for the survival, we impact less to the nature. But on contrary to it, whenever we use luxury or whenever we build for the luxury, we impact much more to the nature. Now, how? Whenever we build for the luxury, we use material which has high embodied energy, such as design material, insulating materials, and many more. And again, whenever we go for the survival level, in that case, user adapt to the climate. But in luxurious buildings should adapt to the climate. Now we discuss about operational phase of the building. In operational phase of the building, more energy consumes for heating and cooling of the building. As per the government report, 60 to 70% energy requirement is for heating and cooling of the building. And imagine if temperature rises, then the heating and cooling demand will increase, and indirectly it will going to impact the climate again. So both building impact the climate as well as climate impact the building. First, we generate greenhouse gases by consuming more energy, by using more heating and cooling appliances. Heating and cooling appliances emits greenhouse gases, and again which has more embodied energy, and during the production of these appliances, emission of greenhouse gases is again more. So ultimately, first the buildings impact the climate, and again due to increase in temperature, building will be impacted. There are energy transformations during the production of the material. If we take an example of again burning of bricks, then coal gives its energy to brick, and leaving fly ash as a residue, which is again going back to the nature. But if we again discuss about the bird's nest, then the energy used by the dried grass or leaves is solar energy, again renewable form of energy. Again, after its completion or while decomposition of this uh, grass or leaves, microorganisms take energy from that grass and leaves, and while taking energy from grass and leaves, microorganisms leaves a manure behind, manure which is having high nutritional value for the earth. That means ultimately that energy goes back to earth. Now, in today's context, it is very difficult to go only with the survival level construction, because nowadays demands are changing, lifestyle is changing. So there is another way of building construction, that is balance between luxury as well as survival. Then how one can achieve that balance? During constructional phase, we can use reusable or recyclable material, or we can reduce the consumption of material. So here we are talking about 3R, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. So by using recycled material or reducing the consumption of material, we can reduce down the emission during the constructional phase. By using proper strategies, climate responsive strategies, passive cooling strategies, we can reduce the heating and cooling requirement, or we can reduce the energy required for the building during the operational phase. Thank you for listening to us. We will be coming back to you with few more such topics. Keep watching and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and please press the bell icon to get notification for our upcoming videos. Thank you.